Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got a truly inspiring story to share as we follow Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, on her mission to shed light on the humanitarian crisis caused by the war in Sudan. Duchess Sophie's visit to Chad has captivated the world's attention, not just for the significance of her work, but also because of the striking comparisons being made between her and other hardworking royals like Princess Anne. In this video, we'll explore the details of her visit, the emotional impact it had on her, and why experts are saying she's carving out a fearless role within the royal family. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up to stay updated on all the latest royal news. And as always, we want to hear from you, so be sure to leave a comment down below with your thoughts on today's topic. The ongoing war in Sudan has left a devastating humanitarian crisis in its wake, with over 10 million people displaced from their homes. Many of these refugees have fled to Chad, where Duchess Sophie traveled on behalf of the royal family to bring attention to their plight. According to palace sources, women and children make up the majority of those who are now seeking refuge in Chad, often under dire and dangerous conditions. Duchess Sophie's visit to the region aimed to raise awareness about the severe challenges these refugees are facing, including sexual violence, lack of access to food and water, and the uncertainty of their future. What sets this visit apart is how deeply personal and emotional it was for Sophie. As she met with women who had fled from Sudan, she was brought to tears by their horrific stories of survival. In an emotional interview with The Sun, Sophie shared the heart-wrenching details she had heard during her visit. With visible distress, she explained, "I daren't even describe to you what they've been doing to children. It's not just about the sexual violence, which is horrific because they're having to exchange food and water for sex, and if they don't, they kill them." This raw and candid reaction from Duchess Sophie has struck a chord with the public, who are applauding her for not shying away from difficult and uncomfortable conversations. She went on to explain that many of the women she met felt they had no choice but to flee their homes, even though that decision came with its own set of risks. She said, "These women have no option but to leave. And even then they're lucky. If they can get away, because some of the villages and towns that they come from, they can't even leave their houses anymore. If they leave their houses, they get killed." Sophie's fearless commitment to tackling serious global issues has drawn numerous comparisons to Princess Anne, one of the most respected and hardworking royals. Many royal experts have begun noting the similarities between Sophie's work ethic and that of Anne, who has often been referred to as the hardest-working member of the royal family. During an episode of Palace Confidential on the Daily Mail, Richard Eden spoke about Sophie's growing role within the royal family, remarking, "To me, Sophie reminds me a bit of Princess Anne actually, in the way she is undertaking foreign trips on her own. They often have very serious themes. Like Anne, Sophie has embraced the more serious and complex aspects of her royal duties. Whether it's advocating for women's rights, raising awareness for global health, or, as in this case, bringing attention to humanitarian crises, Sophie has proven herself capable of navigating challenging roles with poise." Eden continued to emphasize that Sophie's experience as a successful businesswoman before marrying Prince Edward has made her uniquely prepared for these difficult assignments. Sophie was an established businesswoman on her own before she met Prince Edward. She is used to representing herself. This background, coupled with her growing confidence in her royal duties, has helped Sophie carve out a distinct and influential role within the royal family. The comparisons to Princess Anne don't end with work ethic alone. Like Anne, Sophie has demonstrated a remarkable ability to tackle tough and emotionally challenging topics. On the Palace Confidential podcast, Mail on Sunday's editor-at-large, Charlotte Griffiths, added her thoughts on Sophie's evolving role, saying, "I think she's carved out this really fearless role for herself. She's not afraid to listen to some incredibly difficult stories." This fearlessness was on full display during her trip to Chad, where Sophie listened to the heart-wrenching stories of Sudanese women who had survived unspeakable violence. Her willingness to engage with such difficult subject matter has earned her the trust of both the palace and the government, who are increasingly relying on her to represent the royal family on the global stage. Natasha Livingstone of the Mail on Sunday further elaborated on this point, stating, "It's a sign of the direction she is going in. She's being trusted by the palace and the government to take upon these increasingly serious and important topics. Of course, no comparison to Princess Anne would be complete without acknowledging the Princess Royal's unmatched dedication to royal duties, and has long been celebrated for her tireless work ethic and for often undertaking royal engagements that other members of the family might shy away from." According to a Telegraph tally using the court circular, the royal family's official record of engagements, Princess Anne conducted an impressive 457 engagements in 2023, more than any other royal. Former royal press spokesperson Dickie Arbiter praised Anne's commitment, telling the Telegraph, "She just gets on with it, often carrying out multiple engagements in one day. In a typical week, Anne reportedly manages between 12 to 14 engagements, showcasing her determination and dedication to her royal duties." As Sophie's role within the royal family continues to grow, it's clear that she is becoming an increasingly important figure in addressing global issues. Her work in Chad, while heartbreaking, has drawn much-needed attention to the plight of Sudanese refugees and the extreme violence they face. Sophie's compassion and empathy have been widely praised, and her emotional response during the trip has resonated with people around the world. Sophie's visit to Chad is just the latest in a series of humanitarian efforts she has championed. Over the years, she has been a strong advocate for women's rights, global health initiatives, and the fight against sexual violence. Her dedication to these causes, much like Princess Anne's long-standing commitment to charitable work, is solidifying her place as a vital figure in the royal family's future. As Duchess Sophie continues to take on more serious roles, royal watchers are eager to see where her growing influence will lead her next. Will she take on even more responsibilities within the royal family? How will her work evolve as she continues to address pressing global issues? One thing is certain, Sophie is proving that she has the determination, resilience, and compassion necessary to make a significant impact on the world stage. Now it's time to hear from you. What do you think about Duchess Sophie's recent trip to Chad? Do you think the comparisons to Princess Anne are fair? And what do you think her future role in the royal family will look like? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to bring you more royal news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.